So, teachers have a pretty tough job, I'll admit. They have to deal with people like me, who completely ignore them, or people who just never shut up. Now, whether that means they're too smart to keep quiet, or they're just really obnoxious or annoying, it depends on which class you're in. Since kindergarten, which sounds like a German word for some reason, I've seen a bunch of angry, even an abusive teacher who, because I have a scrap of dignity in me still, I'm not gonna name. Miss Thomas from Jupiter Elementary School. Zip code 33458. If any of you guys want to look her up, I hope she got fired. I haven't checked. They all make for interesting conversation topics, so let's talk about that. I'm gonna hop way back into the ancient year of 2009, when I was starting school for the first time. Kindergarten, a little kid's heaven, filled with scratch and sniff Snickers and candy. Well, I just said Snickers, I meant stickers. Whoop-de-doo, I'm keeping that. And candy and crap. Yeah, kindergarten was great, especially the puppet show, which I'm gonna talk about during another time, but I hated one thing the most, the clipboardy thing. You guys probably have experienced the clipboardy thing. It's where the teacher has a stick with a bunch of clips, and every time you get in trouble, your clip moves down a few spaces. It makes you feel horrible, I know. I did find it funny how teachers couldn't vent their anger against the kids, so they vented on the stick. So once during class, I was drawing, which is surprising, I know. I got excited at my drawing of a Pokemon, I think. It was probably Venusaur, who... I mean, don't lie to yourself. This is the best starter in the first games. Anyway, I got really excited and started showing everyone the drawing right in the middle of the lesson. It's probably about dumb stuff anyway. Probably something easy to understand, like the alphabet or the 30-year war of 1618. The teacher noticed me talking to people, which isn't surprising since I was in the front row. And she looked at me and clenched her teeth, and then she stood up and opened her mouth like she was gonna yell, and then sat back down, firmly grasping the clipboardy thingy, and aggressively moved my clip down to the yellow section. And then for whatever reason, she wagged her finger at me like Sonic. At this point, I didn't really know what to think. Barely anything happened. I already felt like jumping out a second-story window. I would have rather had brain surgery done by a disabled doctor than have to deal with the horrible mental trauma that was the clips on the clipboardy thingy. I could never look at her in the eye again, at least until the next day, where I forgot everything that happened. Moving forwards in time in the... I don't know, I need to come up with a name for this. The Danimations Cinematic Universe. We arrive in the year 2011, aka second grade. This is where Mrs. Thomas, the bastard who made fun of me for no reason other than her hatred of my brother because, I don't know, he's Filipino. Believe it or not, but me and my brother have both came home crying simply because Miss Thomas is so good at bullying, which in itself is a pretty good achievement. Just extra here, it physically pains me to say she has an R in her title, which means for some reason she's not just a miss, she's a Mrs. A poor unfortunate soul out there today in the United States is being held captive by a monster, forced to marry, and even have sex with her. Ew. Okay, with her criminal past out of the way, I can explain the various things she said and did to us. She was quiet on the first day of school, not even an introduction or a name given. She just sat in her chair, feet on the desk, with her phone in her hand. So obviously we're off to a good start. She didn't actually say anything until she asked us to sit in the seats marked with their names, so we all settled down, but a few kids, nervous on their first day, as you can expect, browsed the rows over and over, thinking too fast to notice their names written on the desk. So then Miss Thomas gets out of her chair. She stands at the board with a pile of materials needed papers in her arms. She notices the kids standing in the chair and says,
"Are you guys blind? Do I really have to help you with something this easy? Man, we really have failed the next generation."
I don't know, and then she looks at us like we're supposed to laugh. I can imagine myself sitting there asking what the hell a generation even was. Later in the afternoon, I had to take a massive pee. Like, it was so massive that I had to focus all my energy on constricting my pelvis and other assorted muscles, which I won't share, so that I wouldn't release the beast right there in front of the room. See, the problem here is that, Miss Thomas, you just would not be quiet. How long can you talk about buying pencils and paper, dear lord? So there I was, shaking like that one washing machine with a brick in it from that one video. She takes notice and I raised my hand, she turned back, and she kept talking. So I was cursing in my head, but cursing back then was less like asshole dickwipe and more like darn poo-poo head butt face. She turned again, noticing me shaking harder this time. She laughs and said that I had better not piss in her chairs, and I better haul it to the bathroom. And then I ran like the wind, as fast as a man on the verge of pissing himself can go. So, maybe as fast as the average wheelchair-bound man. There's a lot of other instances, like once where she threw an index card pack to get me to stop drawing. I don't have time to go too in-depth, so I'm gonna skip ahead to a few weeks ago. Big time skip, whatever. My teacher, who I'm not gonna name because I respect him, though some of you probably know what I'm talking about, threw a fit over something really menial. We watched a video over the death of Anne Boleyn, some lady who did some stuff to some king's family, etc., etc. We're sitting there snickering and giggling over the over-dramatization and strange cinematography choices during the movie. For example, during one scene, Anne's about to get executed and it shows her about to die, and the movie just decides, you know what? Goose. We're just looking at a goose, and some random flashbacks followed by some weird face Anna's making. A lot of us couldn't take this seriously and we laughed. Cool, video's over. Girl in the back says something to the teacher as he's coming back up to the front of the room to teach. As he's headed up, I hear him say, "I'm disappointed." I watch him go back to his little speech pedestal and throw the manila folder he's holding onto into it. Then he slouches and walks to the board and starts yelling something along the lines of, "This isn't a comedy. It's someone dying. I'm back there crying, and you guys are up here laughing like it's a joke. You are the first class to ever do this." I can confirm that the last line is false. I do admit I normally don't giggle during things like that, but we're in a place where we are literally surrounded by friends for 5 hours a day. Now, this is just my opinion, but I don't think you should be mad over people not taking seriously a woman who died 400 years ago and quite literally deserved it. And to top it off, the mediocre acting of whoever the hell that person was. Though I do respect his passion for history. Keep it up, Mr. Censored Bar. So, teachers get mad. I think we get it. I could sit here for another hour and explain all the times my teachers got mad, but I only mention the ones that really stuck with me. I hope everyone has a good day, and make mine better by liking and subscribing. This is a demand, not a request. Do it. Do it now. Do it. Do it now.